Most people believe the perfect business idea is the foundation of wealth. The evidence shows the exact opposite. The more you obsess over the idea, the more likely you are to fail. Once you understand why your brain uses planning as a sophisticated form of procrastination, the path to your first dollar fundamentally changes. Noah Kagan's $1 Million Weekend isn't a book about entrepreneurship. It's a clinical manual for killing the perfectionism that keeps you broke. We live in an era of infinite information, yet the rate of new business starts remains throttled by a single ancient biological trigger, the fear of social rejection. This matters to you right now because every day you spend researching is a day you are actively choosing the safety of your current income over the volatility of true growth. By the end of this video, you'll understand why your first 3 attempts should fail and how that failure is the only data point that actually matters. The coffee challenge is a neurological intervention designed to desensitize the amygdala to social friction. Our brains are hardwired to view social rejection as a death sentence. In a tribal setting, being cast out meant certain demise. When you think about pitching a product, your brain triggers the same fight or flight response as if you were facing a predator. By asking for a 10% discount on a coffee for no reason, you are intentionally triggering this alarm in a low-stakes environment to prove to your nervous system that no is not fatal. Consider the mid-level software engineer who spent 18 months building a revolutionary app in total isolation. He refused to show anyone a prototype because it wasn't ready. When he finally launched, he was met with total silence, not because the app was bad, but because he had zero tolerance for rejection. Contrast this with Noah Kagan's early AppSumo days. He didn't build a platform, he sent a manual email to see if they'd buy. He felt the sting, but because he had conditioned himself through small rejection reps, he could pivot in hours rather than months. This week, walk into any cafe and ask for 10% off your order. Do not give a reason. When they ask why, simply smile and say, "Just because." Your goal isn't the discount, it's the 30 seconds of intense discomfort that follows. But desensitizing yourself to no is only half the battle. The other half is knowing how to find a yes. Wait until you see why a good idea is actually your biggest liability. If you are currently sitting on a perfect idea that you haven't tested, you are likely in the research trap. Subscribe to extract more ideas that change how you think. Validation is a financial transaction, not a verbal agreement. There is a psychological gulf between interest and investment. When you ask friends if they like your idea, they will lie to you to preserve the social bond. Feedback is worthless without skin in the game. Real validation only occurs when someone is willing to lose something of value, usually time or money, to acquire what you are offering. Dropbox founder Drew Houston didn't build the architecture first. He created a simple 3-minute video demonstrating how the product would work. The resulting waiting list grew from 5,000 to 75,000 overnight. He had his validation before he wrote the core code. Contrast this with the failure of Quibi, $1.75 billion spent before a single user proved they actually wanted it. They never validated demand. Before you buy a domain, find 3 strangers and ask them to pre-order. If they won't give you $20 now, they won't give you $100 later. Handle the no? This is where that payoff. If you can't handle the no from 3 strangers, you'll never reach the law of 100 that actually builds a business. Coming up, the math of millionaires. The law of 100 is the ultimate insurance policy against premature quitting. It shifts the metric from outcome to output. Most quit during the valley of disappointment, where effort is high but results are lagging. Commit to 100 repetitions before evaluating results. By committing to 100 repetitions, you bypass the emotional volatility of the first 10 failures. You are outsourcing your discipline to a numerical target. Imagine standing at the base of a mountain. After 10 steps, you're frustrated you haven't seen the view. But the first 100 steps were the entry fee. You wouldn't be looking at the peak, you'd be looking at your boots. Most people judge their potential based on a sample size of 3. This is the emotional center of the framework. Stop judging your potential on failures. Use the law of 100 to build your insurance. Pick one lead generation activity and commit to 100 of them in 30 days. Do not look at your bank balance until you hit 100. Everything I've told you so far is the easy part. Here's where it gets harder. The truth about passive income coming up. The now not later, no whiter mindset identifies the micro start to bypass the brain's complexity bias. Planning releases dopamine without effort. By shrinking the time to action to under 60 seconds, you prevent the analytic overlay, all the reasons why the idea might fail in years. Look at the early days of Facebook. Zuckerberg didn't set out to connect the world. The initial micro-start was a hot or not site for a single campus. This is the insight the book buries. Start now is not a motivational slogan. It is actually a competitive advantage. Survival of the weekend is key. Identify the absolute smallest version of your idea. Go knock on your neighbor's door and ask if they'll pay you $20 to pull weeds by hand today. Once you've mastered the now, you need a system for the next. Here is the exact 48-hour protocol you can start this Friday. The pain spotting phase. Identify 3 problems you've encountered in the last 24 hours. Grounds your business in market demand, not imagination. The dollar-first validation. Reach out to 10 potential customers and ask for a prepayment. Provides immediate market truth before capital risk. The kill or scale decision. If 0 out of 10 pay, the idea is dead. If 1 pays, you have a business. Prevents the sunk cost fallacy. Change your life. Today, $1 Million Weekend reveals a humbling truth. We are more afraid of a stranger saying no than we are of living a life that doesn't satisfy us. The weekend isn't about the money. It's about the psychological liberation that comes from realizing the gates have been open the entire time. The cost of not knowing this isn't just a missed business opportunity, it's the slow erosion of your agency. Take the weekend, change your life, today. Here's what we extracted today. Insight 1, the coffee challenge. Insight 2, validation is a transaction. If they don't pay, they don't care. Insight 3, the law of 100. Insight 4, the no whiter mindset. The weekend protocol is your guide. Go get rejected. Ask for that coffee discount. Why is the coffee challenge so terrifying to most people? Is it the fear of looking cheap or the deeper fear of being told no in public? I read every comment. Subscribe. New video every Sunday. See you then.